Welcome, everybody, to the Ring Generals podcast. My name is Nick Nenad. Alongside me is Eric.
What's cooking?
And, of course, the RKJ Man.
Let's talk that talk, y'all. Hypocritical Nick! We have the male version of Alexa Bliss right now with his coffee over here. Well, what's going on here? What type of coffee you drinking?
Just straight black. And that was not meant to be a joke.
That's the best type of coffee you can have.
Stay black.
Straight up black coffee, man.
He's keeping it black.
Guys.
Yeah, there you go.
I saw you were posted to Alexa Bliss's tweet. He's like, "How you like your coffee? Straight black."
I said iced, so no, that's incorrect. You're lying.
Iced.
Oh, well, all right. Well, you like black coffee right now, so.
I know it gets me the most energized, and I want to be energized for this podcast. I'm also mimicking EC3 as well. I love that cup gimmick, whatever he's doing with that.
Wait a minute, hold on. I think the Street Profits have the real cup gimmick in NXT, right?
That's a good point. Good call on that. So I'm actually impersonating Alexa Bliss, EC3, and the Street Profits all in one screenshot.
Who cares? It's really Alexa. She's got the higher spot on the card, so who cares?
Good point. Later, yeah. So on today's podcast, we are going to be talking, of course, about StompingGrounds. That's the thing that is coming up most recently on this tour here in June. A lot to talk about with that, just because there's some weird stuff going on with that. But we're also going to jump into the last couple Raws and Smackdowns. One of them I actually attended, so I'll give my thoughts on the in-crowd stuff that people don't get to see at home, which is probably a lot different than the product shows on TV, which is interesting. So I'll bring that up. We'll also have Eric's Indy update, and we will also talk about AEW's All Out. And we have some personal information about that as well to reveal. But so, Eric, you saw both Raw and SmackDown this week on television. Give me your thoughts on the shows. I'll give my thoughts last, just because I was actually at SmackDown in Ontario. And I'll give you the gist of what I saw there and what surprised me from the in-ring, from the in-arena crowd. But Eric, what did you think about the two shows? Just real quickly, did you enjoy them more than usual, or was it just kind of the same old stuff?
It's a little bit of the same old stuff, but if I look at SmackDown, I think how it ended with Kofi Kingston and Seth Rollins, and I try to compare the energy from the TV product. I mean, watching it from TV and from your camera perspective, Nick, how it was. And I think from you being there, I felt it. I felt the energy. Having Kofi and Seth Rollins being in the same ring, I think that actually added a lot to the event. To, of course, the last part of the show. I think for Raw, for me personally, I think what helped the show, and I didn't give this a try. I didn't actually really give them a chance, but I'm starting to like this Firefly Funhouse that Bray Wyatt's been doing.
Yes.
And I want to give a special shout out to Tom Savini's team for developing that mask for Bray Wyatt, because Tom Savini, I've known his work, him being the makeup artist for Friday the 13th movies. He's also done some other horror movies. I think he did Dawn of the Dead, some of the makeup effects for the zombies. And so him having his team develop that mask for Bray Wyatt, I thought that was like a huge save for Bray Wyatt's character. And I felt like I knew they were going to save up something later on. I knew they were going to say something for his character. Like, there is that dark character of Bray Wyatt. It's got to be hidden there somewhere. But until then, and then later on, I found out that they actually uncovered his mask a few weeks ago, and then he did it again, which was great. I thought that was cool. And another thing that I'm actually enjoying now, and but it's kind of still a little bit, kind of a mockery. It's a 24/7 belt.
Yep.
But it's actually entertaining.
That's actually R-Truth, man. R-Truth is doing it all right there.
Yeah,
he had the black referee today. He showed up at Drake Maverick's wedding, and he stole the 24/7 title at his wedding. Shout out to R-Truth, man. He's
amazing.
He's making the segments great.
I never know. Yeah, man.
And I heard what they're doing too is that they're using some of the superstars' ideas. They're submitting it to them, and they're using some of these ideas. So if they can use this for 24/7, they can use this for the other things in the product.
Exactly.
Too.
I agree with that.
Could be a safe approach, if they're using that, like you said, RKJ man, those ideas for 24/7 belt little by little, they're going to start developing ideas for the other bigger storylines, main event storylines, that is. Yeah.
So, usually I come on here and I complain about how the show sucks.
Yeah.
I say it's BS.
Blasphemous stuff.
I still think Stomping Grounds could potentially be eye herpes. But I will say this.
Nice.
I will say this. Raw and SmackDown was actually pretty good this week. And I give them credit for actually building something up and not having Seth be a dumb face. Let him go after his opposition. Don't let them come to him. So I think it's very smart of what they were doing with Seth Rollins. However, I will say this. One good show does not erase a month worth, actually 6 months worth of bad shows consistently. And they've got to do better as we get closer and closer to SmackDown, AEW appearing up on TNT, and all these other big events because the interest is still not there. So if they're going to do better, they're going to have to continuously have a continuous streak of good episodes. This is a good start and a good direction, but it's like, okay, you had one good show. Anybody can produce one or two good shows of television. It's about producing a consistent amount. I'm going to say the same thing about AEW. You got to produce consistent shows. Fighter Fest, you can't just mail that in.
I like both shows as well. And it's for one main reason. They built a story within the show, and that's something that's been lacking a lot lately in WWE programming. It seems like they're just throwing things on TV. There's no story to it. What's funny is it almost seemed like there's no script to the show a lot of times, and it just kind of built randomly, even though we've heard from behind the scenes that it is severely scripted, which is super confusing to me, why the show would look like it's thrown together at the last minute when it's supposed to be scripted.
Because Vince McMahon is constantly editing things as the show goes on.
But that's stupid. That's ridiculous.
He's constantly editing things. Even before the show he is, and during the show he is. It just makes no sense.
It's crazy.
Have something prepared and go into it and be confident. And if it doesn't work, then you figure it out after the show.
It's completely
chaotic.
This ain't WCW, bro.
No.
This ain't WCW.
I completely agree with that. And so I watched Raw. I did enjoy Raw because of the Seth Rollins chair storyline. He's beating everybody up with a chair. I was waiting until the end of the show. I'm like, what's going to happen with this? Who's actually going to be the referee? I've always said to you guys, my favorite thing about wrestling is the unpredictability element of it. And this Raw was unpredictable. I didn't know what was going to happen next in a good way, not in a chaotic way. In a good way, I did not know what was going to happen at the end of this show. So I enjoyed it. SmackDown, different story. I was there live. I enjoyed the show. And one of the reasons I enjoyed the show from being inside there really had nothing to do with the fact of what was going on storyline-wise on the show. The crowd was very excited, and it was this crazy, unusual hot crowds for Ontario, California. We really noticed that the crowd was excited. It was a packed house for the seats that they had opened up. They closed off some seats in the upper deck and in the bad look areas, but as far as the areas that were actually uncovered, everybody was there. It seemed like a sold out show. And it was exciting. It was loud. People cheered for the faces, booed the heels. Exactly what you want to see at a wrestling show. And when me and my brother, it was when it was 7:00 Pacific time, and SmackDown was over. We were like, we want another hour. Let's get another hour of this stuff. Like, and 205 Live's just not going to do it for us because there's just no, it's not going to work. But we wanted another hour of SmackDown because we liked the way they built it up. Kofi was featured 3 times. There was a story again to that show. The Dolph Ziggler match with Xavier Woods, that told a story of him taking out a New Day member, taking out an enemy, going into the pay-per-view. The Alexa Bliss Bayley segment got really personal and really real at some points. And then, of course, who's not going to enjoy the WWE champion and Universal champion being in the main event against whoever? It didn't even matter who they were going to face. And it made sense that Seth was there because he's continuing the story from Monday Night Raw. So it made sense. And I told my brother, I was like, he's probably going to be here tonight because he's got to beat up the other referees that could possibly. So I liked it, and I liked it from the stance that it was. We hear about how the crowds suck and how nobody's invested. I'll tell you this, man. I think there was at least 8,000 people in that arena on Tuesday, and everybody was invested. Everybody was invested, whether it be kids, parents, or teenagers that I saw there too, and I was sitting next to. Everybody was invested. So maybe there's a point to WWE kind of doing, some of the same old stuff all the time, because their crowds still really enjoy it. And there's 8,000 people in that arena cheering and excited for the shows.
I will say this, though. This is the first week since it's been created. The wild card rule has been created where it actually made some sense for Seth Rollins to come from Raw, show up on SmackDown, and start beating everybody with the steel chair. But because before that, it didn't make any sense. Like, I didn't get it. You just have random people showing up from show to show just because we want to get superstars on shows. Now it made sense. It had a storyline purpose behind it. And if you use the wild card rule to have a storyline purpose behind it, then you can have some success with this thing until we go into October. And then in October, I think they need to flesh out the brand thing. I think everybody's gotta go stay on their own show until WrestleMania. But until October, yeah, you can dollar around with this wild card rule a little bit.
I think they're gonna have to, because Fox is gonna be like, oh no, you can't have Raw superstars on SmackDown. The hell does that?
There's gonna be more restrictions, if anything, once Fox rolls around.
But I just want to continue saying this. 1 week is fantastic. Let me see 2. Let me see 3. Let me see 4. Let me see Stomping Ground be good this week, because I'm calling it eye herpes. So if you can have a good, consistent product for an entire month, then I can really say that you guys have turned the corner. And you got to start doing something, because there's too many reports coming around that these talents are interested in going to AEW. It's getting too frequent. Okay,
yeah,
and I believe where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think there's a fire brewing. If they don't, they can tame the fire, but they got to start right now. They had a good start, but you got to do something better.
Okay, so Stomping Grounds is this Sunday. What are your guys' ideas going into Stomping Grounds? Are you excited? Does it even seem like there's a WWE pay-per-view this Sunday, or does it kind of just seem like, oh, Stomping Ground? Like, you remember it occasionally, but it's not like when WrestleMania comes around, or Money in the Bank, or SummerSlam. It's more, it's another show. Okay, good. We'll watch it because we do a podcast. But right, right. What are you guys' thoughts? I mean, that's okay. Well, I'll start. My thoughts are that I don't really know. I forgot that Stomping Grounds was this Sunday up until like yesterday. So we'll see. It's the same card as Super Showdown with women added, essentially. And I guess we'll watch it again, right? I'm gonna watch it just because we do a podcast and we got to talk about it. And we're gonna do a review, but like, I'm not that excited about this pay-per-view at all.
It's, to me, like I heard that Stomping Grounds was coming up. I think a couple months ago. Oh no, sorry, it was like last month. And I'm like, oh, Stomping Grounds is coming up. Okay, sweet. And then all of a sudden today I heard, oh, it's tomorrow. I mean, sorry, Sunday. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It feels like a lazy Sunday, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm being brutally honest about it. It feels like a lazy Sunday.
I'm with you, brother.
Yeah. Who came up with this name for freaking Stomping Grounds? And who came up with the damn graphic? Because it looks awful.
Ass and take a name.
It's literally some boot on the thing. I feel like they're kicking my ass with this terrible
bland?
show, man. Like, it's
Is it bland, RKJ, man? Is the name like bland, boring,
It's bland, it's boring, it's uncreative, it's unthoughtful, just like the WWE over the past couple of years. I mean, the fact of the matter is this, okay? Let's be honest here. They wanted to have some more money. They wanted to get some more money. They had this thing 2 weeks. They knew nobody was watching WWE Showdown, so they said, okay, let's do a pay-per-view in the Tacoma Dome. And they thought they could sell it out.
So you mean to tell me you mean to tell me that the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view didn't do enough to actually cover that
Apparently,
money?
I read somewhere that it only did 11,000 buys, which is just awful. I heard
that's horrendous.
I heard it did 11,000 buys, man. I just think this Stomping Grounds pay-per-view is awful. I'm excited to watch it on Roku. I mean, because now I can actually see things without having a bar on my television screen. which is fantastic. But other than that, I don't really care. I'm excited about having Sunday off, spending time with the family, going to church, doing all this other stuff, man. But am I excited about watching Stomping Grounds? No. And it shows with ticket sales, and I think it's going to show with the buys, and I think the WWE is just mailing it in. I've heard reports that inside the company, people are already like, yeah, like this is like 1995, King, like what is it, in your house pay-per-views. We don't give a crap about this. So if you don't give a crap, and they're working for the company, and they're working around Vince, why as a viewer would I care?
Seriously,
Okay. Yeah.
I agree.
I don't get it.
I don't understand why they think that they can sell out a stadium with 23,000 seats with a shitty pay-per-view. Like, what is WWE thinking?
Is 23,000 seats in there?
23,000 seats.
Where's it
And
at
how
again?
much?
Tacoma, Washington.
And how much? And how much have they sold so far?
I have no idea. Not 23,000.
They're
AEW sold 11,000 in 15 minutes and had 136,000 people trying to. What was that? How much it was, or was it like 60,000?
I heard it was 100. I thought
136,000 people.
Yeah, either 100, over 100,000 for sure. That's what Brandy said. I think it could have been 145,000.
That seems like a problem, WWE, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems like an issue, and we just keep on finding situations where AEW is more bigger than what even they thought they would be at this point. They didn't think they could sell out a stadium show, but people are arguing now that they could arguably sell out a stadium show. Like that's insane. I mean, what did I say a few months ago? What did I say? Vince, you have 5 months to get your house in order. Now it's 4 months to get your house in order. Okay, the time's running out.
We're not too far away from the month of July, and then before you know it, we're going to get to August, and then September, and then October rolls around.
It's that close. It is really that close.
Let me ask you a question. How bad is it going to be if CM Punk shows up at All Out? How bad is it going to really be if CM Punk shows up?
I don't see it happening.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a
month. I see it happen. I've been calling it for months.
We'll talk about that in a month.
You saw that tweet? You guys saw that tweet?
I don't care what
I don't believe a word CM Punk says until it happens. I'll tell you that right now.
But do you think his star power will be diminished by the fact he lost those UFC fights if he returns back to AEW, guys? Do you think it's going to be diminished?
With AEW, no. Because I think the fans just want to see him. If he were to go back to WWE,
they would mention it.
Maybe.
They would mention it to try to embarrass him and bury him a little bit.
I mean, if you hire a guy, I don't think you're going to try to embarrass him. I don't think that would be the way it would go.
But Petit got hired from WCW, and The Rock said, "Who in the blue hell are you?"
Well, I mean, with Punk, people are never
different scenario.
Here's the thing: people are never going to be happy with Punk, whatever he does. Okay. The thing is, if he goes to UFC, wrestling fans are going to hate on him, and then UFC fans are also going to shit on him. And then if he goes back to wrestling, UFC fans or MMA fans are going to shit on them too.
Good point.
Okay, so it's like, okay, what do you want? What do you want me to do, guys? Punk is like, what do you guys want me to do?
The underlying thing is that he's coming back at All Out. So that's what we're seeing.
I'm happy for the man too, but I'm also not dumb and oblivious to the fact that he really has stayed out of the spotlight for a while now. And I think that's on purpose. And I think Tony Khan's a smart enough businessman to offer him a deal that he just can't refuse. I think Tony Khan, and just hearing the way he talked on the recent Stone Cold podcast, he's got a plan for how this whole thing is going to work. He knows how he's going to try to make money. He's already done it by getting TNT without them having their first show on pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. I think he's got a plan to get CM Punk, and I think we should just calm down and wait.
I'm not calming down. I'm getting excited because I want to see him. I want to see him there. I'm getting excited. I don't want to calm down.
I think we got to stop pressuring him.
We said the exact same thing on Double or Nothing. Remember?
It's different though. It's different. And I
did not say the same exact thing. I might have alluded to it, but I called the All Out thing before All Out even existed. Let's do one prediction each. Let's make it quick. About Stomping Grounds. Something good that is going to happen at Stomping Grounds. RKJ man, since you're the least excited, you get to go first.
Sasha Banks returns to help Bayley win.
That's a good ass prediction right there.
She's got her choice. You're locked in for 2 years.
Probably Lesnar might get himself involved and will try to cash in, but then fails and then ends up with the briefcase. Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying that Brock just keeps the briefcase and...
Yeah, he'll try to, you know how he's been finding ways to try to cash in the belt whenever Seth or Kofi are completely vulnerable. And once they recover enough to attack Brock, then Brock will get the briefcase back and head on home.
They better not let Brock Lesnar look like a beta male bitch, though. They better not let him look like because at Super Showdown he looked like a damn fool. In the words of Charles Barkley,
Seth really wore in those chair shots, though. I
mean,
love that.
he looked really bad. I mean, come on, bro. Come on. Like, be a little smarter.
My good thing is that we're gonna see Alexa Bliss win the SmackDown Women's Championship again. All right, so why don't we jump into Eric's Indy update for the show today? I'm excited about this one because we haven't had one in a long time, and I'm interested to see what's going on.
Yeah, man. Well, a lot has happened this week. Rest in peace, Lionheart, Adrian McCallum. He passed away this week. He took his own life. There's been some personal issues that he's had. What's happened was that a couple months ago, he tried to save his neighbor from a burning fire. He was successful in a couple people, but one perished. And so I believe that he was probably feeling guilty, and he took his own life this week. Lionheart, he actually had pretty good feuds in Ring of Honor against Nigel McGuinness, Cedric Alexander, Delirious, and Roderick Strong. So a lot of great wrestlers out there that he's had feuds with. So rest in peace, Lionheart, Adrian McCallum. Cole Boom Boom Cabana is out of action due to hematoma on his quadriceps, and he is unable to compete. He's going to be pulled off from a couple events, and he is actually scheduled to team up with Nick Aldis up against the Briscoes during Ring of Honor's Best in the World, but really there's no word on if he's going to be able to compete that pay-per-view, so more further updates for Cabana for that to happen. Capital Wrestling, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall will be at the special pre-event meet and greet as part of Capital's. I thought you were going to say they're going
to be in action.
No, they're going to be part of the meet and great as part of.
You want to see a killing on live television? That's happening.
We're probably going to see that in bare knuckle fighting, so stay tuned for that. Capital's Partnership Wrestling for Innocence in Nashville, Tennessee. Jake Hager, they will be in it, and Jake Hager will be wrestling that night. So
see Jack Swagger is wrestling?
Wow, that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, Jack Swagger, and it's going to be in August 11th. So as soon as we get more information about it, we'll keep you updated on that too. TNA's or Impact Wrestling has decided to release Scarlett Bordeaux.
Oh yeah, very interesting. Very interesting.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen to Scarlett Bordeaux. AEW, WWE.
They didn't release her husband either, which was more surprising to
me. Or boyfriend.
Oh yeah, boyfriend.
Oh, boyfriend. My bad.
Yeah.
Because he actually asked for it first, I believe. Didn't get it. Scarlett asked for it after him, and got it. I think she was in a little more dire situation though. We heard that she has a second job. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got fans trying to grope her at events too.
That was in Mexico, from what I saw.
Oh,
that was awful. That was terrible.
Quick story. The guy who actually delivers stuff to us, he came through the other day, and he's a huge wrestling fan. He actually went to Mexico for vacation at my job. And I was like, man, like, did you see that Scarlett Bordeaux thing? He's like, yeah, bro, I was actually there. I was like, did they whoop his ass after? He's like, yep, they whooped his ass. I was
Hell yes.
I was like, good. Woo!
Yeah, we basically kick people's asses for that. Yeah, that's how we do it in Mexico.
That guy deserved it. I wish he would have turned around and slugged him in the face. It's ridiculous. That would never be allowed in anything ever. Imagine if you did that to like an NBA player. Or
an NBA player would kick his ass.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, it just, it's, again, fans going a little too far, and a male fan going too far with a woman. I mean, we see it in the DMs, every damn picture any girl posts. There's, like, just the most ridiculous comments. I can't believe some of these people.
Just go on the Instagram comments, man. It's freaking phenomenal.
It's phenomenal because it's hilarious, and it's ridiculous how stupid some human beings are on Instagram. But like, I don't know, that Scarlett Bordeaux thing kind of ruined my day, because I was like, what are we doing here, guys? They're making us wrestling fans look bad. Again, she's, it's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. I'm interested to see where she goes though, because that character can't really be in WWE.
It can work at NXT, because Velveteen can work in NXT. It can work in AEW. Ring of Honor. I don't know. Yeah, it's either NXT or AEW. It's either NXT or AEW, and ultimately, I do think she's going to choose AEW over that because I think it's going to give her more creative freedom, and Cody and them and Brandy and them are going to give her more of an opportunity than NXT. Because in NXT, she's got to get better with her wrestling skills. She's got to get way better with her wrestling.
She's not bad though.
She's not bad, but she's got to get on the par of an Io Shirai. Well, not Kairi Sane anymore. She's gone, but Io Shirai and Johnny Gargano's wife, Candice LeRae, and all the she's got to get on that par. And I don't think she's on that, or Shayna Baszler too. Yeah. She's not on that par yet. She's getting there, but she's not there yet.
Yeah, so, she did say that she's not doing anything until mid-July, I think too. So she's not going to be signing anytime soon. But she did not say that she wasn't going to wrestle until September. So All Out's a possibility, and she is from Chicago.
Yeah, that is true. So you guys might see her.
I'd love it. I'd love to see her there.
Yeah, I hate when stuff like that happens to Scarlett Bordeaux, though. And people like that. It's just ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's good that you guys added that because I was actually going to talk about that on the podcast, but it's a good thing that you guys actually brought that up. So 2 more things. First of all, I want to give a shout out to my good buddy Harvey Alcala, who will be fighting in Anaheim next month, I believe July 12th. He'll be fighting, so best of luck for you, Harvey, and hopefully we'll try to get you on the podcast alongside with my other friend too. So yes, and also probably give some thoughts about the up and coming July fight or in August, Stipe versus DC. So stay tuned. So dream match of the day. I was thinking about this match. Brock Lesnar, since he's been wrestling and he's done amateur wrestling, he's done pro wrestling, he's done MMA, but there's one sport that I feel like he hasn't done: boxing. One guy that I was thinking of, Brock Lesnar, who is hot right now in the boxing world, heavyweight boxing that is, Tyson, Gypsy
That's
King,
a good one.
Fury.
That's a creative one, Eric. I like that. Oh, I got Fury.
That's the best one yet.
I got Fury.
I got Fury too.
Fury?
I got Fury
12
in
rounds?
that fight.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, you saw the way he ducked those punches.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I think
Brock Lesnar's losing his athleticism too. He's getting older too. Fury's younger than him. I think Fury will beat him.
Yeah.
I think Fury can knock him out. I think he can knock him out within 6 rounds.
Ooh. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, like Brock, he would have to resort to, if anything, really, really work on his head movement, because I really think that he would get knocked out in the 5th round by Tyson, if anything. So if I was Brock, I'd take Tyson Fury seriously. Him and Deontay Wilder, and of course Andy Ruiz. I think so.
Andy Ruiz Jr. My goodness.
No, he's getting a lot of that.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah, All Out. Pretty big pay-per-view. Obviously, you've heard sold out in 15 minutes. There was a lot of people that wanted to buy these tickets.
Still do.
Yeah, still do. At much more expensive prices than originally put out there.
Fine for $5,000 if you want to.
Yeah, no. So I wanted to tell the story, real quick, condensed version of the story of how the ticket buying went for said ring generals, because we actually were some of the lucky few that were able to grab tickets that fateful Friday morning without having to go to the secondary market. We bought them through AEWtickets.com, and it ended up working out for us. I got on at 8:50 Pacific time, which was 10 minutes before the tickets were supposed to be on sale. I was put in the queue, which is it's a line. You get put in the line, and this is your line to get tickets. So once it hit 9 o'clock, I was placed. I had a number. My number was 297. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a chance to get good tickets, right? So I get on there. My line, I get pretty quickly to the front of the line, and then it's going to put me onto a new page. I see something loading at the top of my screen. It puts me to the Sears Center's page, and page isn't there. The site crashed. I went back. I tried it again. The site crashed. I went back one more time. The site crashed. So I was like, we're going to have to spend $500 on these tickets. God damn it. And then so I quickly remembered a tweet that was sent out by AEW and by a couple of the executive vice presidents. And it had a link that said, go to AEWtickets.com. I was originally on the Sears Center site, doing it through their site. I typed in on another tab very quickly AEW tickets. By the grace of God, 2 tickets showed up, right? I just clicked them, bought them, didn't care where they were. I saw the price of them, so I knew they were going to be pretty good. And I bought them. I was hungover as hell that morning, so I typed in my credit card wrong 3 times. But I finally got the tickets. And when I went to go look at them, we are somehow almost hard camera first row of the stands. So you will potentially see the Ring Generals at All Out on August 31st. We are there. RKJ, man, you said there was 60,000 people in line when you tried to get on the site.
Yeah, I tried to go on the site just to see how it was. There was 66,000. I was the 66,000 person in line. It's crazy.
Yeah, and at one point, we saw front and center what that hectic was. We bought our tickets at 11:04 Central Time. The tickets sold out at 11:15. So it's insane, but we have the tickets, and we only paid like, what was it, 170 for each of them? Something like that.
It was 146.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it was even less than that. Yeah.
And then you added on fees to protect the tickets too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but I was gonna do everything in my power to make sure those tickets went through, right? But yeah, so that's my little story. I'm not gonna go to Reddit or anything with it. I tried to, and nobody upvoted it. So that's our story.
That's how we
got the All Out tickets, and let's just finish up the podcast by kind of talking about. We've heard that Stomping Grounds is not selling tickets, and it's having trouble selling tickets. How concerned does WWE have to be that there was over 100,000 people trying to buy tickets for All Out? They sold out in 15 minutes, and they can't sell out a pay-per-view for their own brand at all. They can't even sell it out at all. AEW sold out their pay-per-view in 15 minutes. What do you guys think about this?
Man, it's very interesting that it's happening to WWE, known for having their shows being sold out or almost sold out. It kind of tells me that people just, they're really not interested in some of these pay-per-views, like these small name pay-per-views like Stomping Grounds. I think it's just the fact that it's just another normal pay-per-view. As a fan, like looking at it as a fan, the title just doesn't strike me, and I could probably get that. And another thing is that people will look at the card, they will look at the fight card to see if it's worth it or not. And even by looking at the fight card and people in their view, I think they're not really invested in it just by seeing the card, and they're not really motivated. And it's kind of, in a way, people wanted to invest more on AEW's All Out because they know that those tickets sell fast. And the fact that I think that they know, from the hardcore fans, they know that they need something new in pro wrestling, in the world of pro wrestling. They know that they need something fresh, something, in a way, like, I feel like social media in a way has exposed and completely opened a lot of things that are happening in WWE, even just by the smaller things. And when you read those smaller things, it just becomes bigger and bigger, and it just opens the door wide open, and it shows what's really going on behind the scenes. And I think it also has something to do with some of the things that have been happening, like how pay-per-view quality's been doing for All In, Double or Nothing, and just by seeing how there's more promise being put in AEW, I think they have more faith in the company. And just by seeing Stomping Grounds as fans, I think they just said, I'm tired of this. Like, I'm out of this. Like, I will pay this amount of money for AEW's tickets. I'll do that, and I think that they were motivated. They are motivated to travel. If anything, this pay-per-view is not going to motivate you to travel to Washington, whether you live in California, you live in Arizona, New York, doesn't matter. It's not going to motivate you to go over to watch it. Maybe SummerSlam or WrestleMania, I get it, but small pay-per-views like that, it's not going to get you excited or travel at all. Mm-hmm. Pay-per-view, like those pay-per-views like Stomping Grounds and Fatal 4-Way or Elimination Chamber, it's really not going to affect it. I think they're only the only pay-per-views that are only going to be affecting WWE are Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, and of course the Super Showdown pay-per-views. I think so.
And that's not a good thing for WWE either. Because what we're seeing with AEW is not only are they selling out All Out very quickly, they sold out Fyter Fest pretty quickly. They sold out Fight for the Fallen as well pretty quickly. And as we know, they sold out Double or Nothing very quickly as well. So in this case that you're talking about with WWE, AEW is still beating them in that realm. But Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen are what would be equal to Money in the Bank or Elimination Chamber. When you look at Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen, those are comparable to these other secondary pay-per-views. They're still selling out quickly. Stomping Grounds is not. That's the problem.
And for Fyter Fest, it's going to be for free, right? We can stream it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, if anything, I think that AEW's approach for some of these shows like Fyter Fest or Fight for the Fallen, if Fight for the Fallen is for free, I think they're trying to take like something out of UFC's Fight Night when they offered it for free. I think they're trying to go for that. I don't think they're going to do that. ESPN to subscribe, $5 a month. I don't think they're going to do that anytime soon. But I think they're taking something out of from what UFC did for the UFC FS1 Fight Nights and apply that for AEW. And I think that's smart. For WWE, you have to subscribe to the network, So I think for people, if anything, they'll try to, they're like I said, I don't think they're motivated enough to travel to go to Stomping Grounds to even watch it.
No, and Tacoma is not like that close to Seattle either.
Yeah.
So it's even people are like, I don't want to drive an hour to watch this piece of crap show.
Yeah, it's just
eye herpes, right?
It's just the quality of the fight card and just the fact that the name. I think so. It doesn't really grab people's attention, and it's not something that'll grab sell out the arena at all.
Okay, J-Man, last thoughts on this?
A lot of people are going to bring up the fact, oh my goodness, SummerSlam had this same type of thing as AEW. It sold out, had a whole bunch of people in line, but that's SummerSlam. I think it's more concerning for the WWE that they're doing a show in Tacoma, and I don't know when's the last time they've done a show in Tacoma, Washington.
Like never.
A pay-per-view, and they're still not sold out. WWE never comes to Tacoma. We've never seen a show in Tacoma. I don't even know if a live event's been to Tacoma in a while. Probably has, but I don't remember it because nobody cares.
Well, no live event's going to hold 25,000 seats either.
Yeah, so you do a pay-per-view 2 weeks after Super Showdown. You give us the same matches that you gave us that weren't even that good in the first place with very minimal build. And then you expect me to pay double the tickets, literally, that I could have paid for All Out, where I could have been sitting in the front row.
True.
And then I'm going to be sitting up in sky, like watching the stage. And you expect me to pay for that. I'm not paying for that. And so it makes no sense. You got to be smarter with who your clientele is. And it seems like AEW, although they're kind of still trying to figure out who their clientele is, because we heard reports they don't even know where they're getting all these big numbers from. They got something going here. They've got something cooking because you gave us Double or Nothing. You admitted to the fact that, yeah, we get it. It's a big price. But if you pay this price, we're going to give you something that you're going to actually enjoy and you're actually not going to regret it. And if AEW had another pay-per-view for $60, I would buy that again. I feel like the WWE sometimes forgets about the fans. I feel like Sean Spears said this on an interview. He said how when he was leaving, he told Vince McMahon that he feels like he insults the audience intelligence. Well, AEW, they're not insulting their fans, their audience, anybody. They're being very smart. You buy a $60 pay-per-view, you spend all this money, you sacrifice all this time to watch it, whether it's BR Live app or in your regular cable subscription satellite provider, we're going to give you Fyter Fest for free. Or we're going to make Fight for the Fallen a little bit cheaper. You know what I'm saying? It's those types of smart things that I have not seen from WWE in a really long time. It's like, hey, we think this show is going to be really good. Okay, where I'm sitting at? Well, I'm sitting all the way up in the deck up here, but I'm paying $200 per ticket. Whereas if you buy $200 for ticket AW, you might get seen in the front row. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense and it's smart. And I do not think, for those of you who are saying, well, AEW can go to a stadium show, I don't think now's the time to go.
No, do not do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try to rent out Jackson.
Try the United Center first before you go the,
Just build up.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I heard. I heard that the United Center, one of the reasons why they're not running there this year is because the fees to rent out the place is expensive. Kind of like with WWE and MSG.
Also, I think they also want the fans, every fan in the arena, to have a good view too. I think they're trying to make it a point that if you go to an AEW show, you're going to see wrestling, and you're going to be able to see it like up closer than most WWE arenas. When you're in the upper deck at Staples Center, it's not good watching a show from there. If you're in the upper deck of the United Center, way up in Madison Square Garden, Barclays Center, they're bad seats. It's hard to see. When we were behind the stage at MetLife Stadium, you could barely see anything, right? AEW, I think, is trying to prove the point that, we may sell 9,000 less tickets than most WWE shows, but every single one of our fans is going to have a good view for the show, and the value of their ticket is actually going to mean something. To your point, RKJ-Man, and your point too, Eric, when you pay for a ticket that's too much for what you're actually watching, you get disgruntled, and you don't want to do that again. When you pay we were paying less money for these all-out tickets than we did for the worst seats at MetLife Stadium. They were legitimately. Right now, we bought them second market, so it's a little bit different with WrestleMania, but it's crazy that we're even saying that. When you see our view when we go there in Chicago, you're going to be like, you guys bought these tickets for like $160? What? And we're going to be like, yeah. And like, so it's a problem. It's an issue for sure. And WWE needs to figure out, and they need to realize that fans don't buy their bullshit anymore.
It's getting to the point now where it's like, well, what are you going to do about it? Like, what's your ultimate move? And if the WWE can produce things that actually give us a reason to want to go buy these tickets, then yeah. But if you're not producing something, that's going to make me excited about going to these shows, I'm going to skip out. I'm going to go to that AEW show. It's cheaper. I get to see superstars too that have been in the WWE, and I get a better bang for my buck. It just makes common sense. It's just an appealing thing. And that's why I love competition or any type of event like that, because what it does is it helps fans. It's better for us as fans. We get an opportunity as fans to get a better product.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our podcast for this week. All Out is going to be crazy. The Ring Generals will be there. We also want to announce that we will be at UFC 239 as well. I got that right? UFC 239.
I thought it was 241.
We're going to be at UFC 241. Excuse me. I'm thinking of the July 6th card. UFC 241 at the Honda Center. We will be there to watch Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic, Nate Diaz, Yoel Romero, and if they add anybody else to that card, we will see them as well. We have our tickets, and we are excited to be there. We will also be at All Out, and we will also be at a bar wrestling show late June. I forget the exact date.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Yes, coming up
June 27th.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Too sweet 2-year anniversary.
Yes. That should be exciting. Shout
out to the homie Kathy Capinelli.
That's a really tight-knit show, too. Only standing room only, and you get a great view of professional wrestling, probably better than any seats you can get, to be honest. So that will be a fun night. So will All Out, and so will UFC, and we're going to be working on possibly getting to that first Smackdown Live at the Staples Center as well. We'll be ready to get to that as well. So more things to come from the Ring Generals, but as far as this podcast goes, we are done. RKJ-Man, close this thing out.
Raise a glass in the sky and salute the Ring Generals.